Akwaba Medofopa, thank you for tuning in for yet another delicious recipe. So we cooked this jollof rice in celebration of World Jollof Rice Day. And I used the opportunity to teach my son again how to cook jollof rice. I shared with him the step-by-step and some tips to get the best jollof rice. So pull up your chair, sit tight, and let's get cooking together. Take some notes too. All right. So first off, I always simmer some plum tomatoes and passata, blend it together, and I simmer it down until it becomes a thick paste just like this. I have a YouTube video on how to do this, so do check it out. And whilst that is going on, I get my green seasoning sorted. So also I've got a green seasoning recipe on the channel. Please do check it out. I'll also bring this exact one to you later, so please look out for it. So for the green seasoning, it's a bit of onions, garlic, ginger, some herbs. I had some rosemary, some sage, some basil, some coriander, and some bay leaves, and some pepper. So I blended all of it together, and then I used some used oil to blend this. It actually helps for you to reuse your used oil. So do check out this recipe later when I post it, so be on the lookout. And once that was done, then it was easy. All we needed, our ingredients for jollof rice, was oil, the simmered tomatoes, 2 spices, some curry powder, I've tried Village Kitchen's 10 spice blend, which has 10 different spices, the green seasoning with all the herbs, and the rice, and some bay leaves for the extra bay leaf flavor. This is so simple. The only thing you need for the best jollof rice is, as I have shown you. The exact measurements for this jollof rice is listed in the description below. So let's start cooking. So what we did was to heat up the oil, and what we added in was ginger, minced ginger. Because there was no ginger in our green seasoning, we needed that. And then we added in the bay leaf and then the dry spices. So the 10 spice blend went in, and then some curry powder. Frying the spices at this stage helps to awaken the dry spices and allow the aroma to be released so that your jollof rice will taste good. Okay, so that's a tip there. The first tip was the simmering down of the tomatoes. The second tip was getting a good blend of the green seasoning, which we were adding at this stage. And then the third tip is frying your spices in the oil to help release the aroma and the flavors. So once the green seasoning was added, we stirred everything together, and just look, it did not take that long for the whole thing to fry. Not much editing was done here. It is really quick. Within 5 minutes, your green seasoning is fried beautifully. And then the next thing is to add in the simmered tomatoes. So one thing I wanted you to know as well is the same pot I'm using to cook the jollof rice is the same pot I used in simmering down the tomatoes. That's why you see that little bit of mess in there. It helps. Use a big pot when you're simmering down your tomatoes, and I always suggest use the same pot that you use for your jollof rice. Okay, so yeah, and you don't even need to do that washing up. Okay. So we stirred everything together, and then we covered the stew and allowed it to simmer down on a low to medium heat to allow the sauce to just get married together and all the flavors to develop. I hope you are enjoying this recipe. It is this simple to make jollof rice stew, and I'm sure you can see that. So don't forget to subscribe and turn on your notification button for more. So for about 10 to 15 minutes, the stew was almost cooked. At this point, it was time to season the stew, and my tip here is to first off have a taste of the stew and then add salt to correct the seasoning and also to over season a bit. Add enough salt to actually cook the rice. Okay, And your rice too, wash it in a colander or drain it out in a colander to drain off as much water as possible. So when you add in the rice at this stage, allow the rice to mix in properly with the stew, and then allow it about 5 to 8 minutes to steam together. It helps the stew to soak up the rice and for it to flavor the rice properly. Over salting the stew or over seasoning the stew helps all the flavors to absorb into the rice. Okay, once that is done, then add in some boiling water. So your kettle should have been on whilst you were, seasoning and washing the rice, and then once it is ready, you add in the hot boiling water. This helps the jollof rice to cook quickly. I'm sharing a lot of tips, and I hope you are taking notes just like my son did. It was now time to cover it and allow it to cook on a medium heat, just for the water to get absorbed into the rice. All right. And yes, so this is about 10 minutes, 10 to 12 minutes. And then we checked on it and the water had absorbed, but the rice was not soft enough. But this is the time that you just cover it with a parchment paper. All right, you don't add any more water at this point, otherwise your jollof rice will get soggy. So we added the parchment paper and covered it. Okay, so whilst that was going on, now at this time the jollof rice was cooking on a very low to medium heat. So it was now time to do our extras, and I wanted I had a little bit of rye plantain. I thought, let me make some quick air fried kilewele. So I've got a recipe on how to make an air fried kilewele on the channel, but this is how I did it with my quick kilewele spice blend and some oil and some salt, and that was it. It went straight into the air fryer. And also the boys wanted a treat for themselves, so we had some gingerbread men that they had to decorate themselves, so they did that. So it was a lovely day for us, celebrating World Jollof Rice Day. So we also made some delicious roast chicken to go with the jollof rice. That video and recipe is just before this one, so do check it out. All right, that roast chicken was so delicious and juicy. The best delicious all natural spiced roast chicken I have ever had. This was it. It was delicious. So do check it out and try it for yourself. It really went well with the jollof rice. So we checked on it. It was halfway done. We just basted it in its own juices, and then it went back into the oven. And this was about 30 minutes into the cooking time of the jollof rice. So we also checked on the jollof rice, and the jollof rice was almost done. See, when you lift the pan off and you're lifting the parchment paper off the rice, always lift it up straight up, because you have the steam settles, and then there's water on the parchment paper. So depending on how much water you need for your jollof rice to cook, or maybe it's already cooked, you need to be careful so you don't have that extra water going into the jollof rice. So the jollof rice was almost ready. Okay, and also we made some simple salad to go with this jollof rice. For that, we just used some lettuce, some red onions, and some cucumbers. It's very simple but very delicious, and we added our salad dressing to it. Metafapa, I hope you have taken some notes. You've got some tips for your jollof rice recipe, and you're going to cook the best jollof rice. Don't forget to like this video to help my channel grow. All right, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done so. Thank you for all those who have subscribed and who are liking this channel and helping it to grow. Thank you so much. I appreciate you very, very much. So look at our delicious, this chicken, it was so good, and the jollof rice was delicious. You can tell the color, no coloring was added, but the process gives you the best recipe ever. So please do check it out. Try it and let me know. I am here to help you. Send me your comments and I am ever ready to help you cook the best jollof rice ever. And look at this Kelly Willy, air fried Kelly Willy. Everything at its best. Easy, delicious, and healthy. All right, thank you for joining me today. I hope you have enjoyed this video and I hope you are going to try it. See you next time in my next video. Bye bye.